Hello, I am live on Facebook and I'm also live on YouTube. And there are going to be two things that I'm going to be looking at today. The first thing is, how do you bring light in a dark world when you realize the world is being run by pedophiles, when there's a clear genocide that's happening? And how do you regulate your nervous system while speaking about your gifts, your unique expression on social media like TikTok and Instagram, where you have like 90 seconds to say something when someone is in scroll mode? And when someone is in scroll mode, what does that mean? That means they're like switched off. I have really been struggling with those two platforms, with Instagram and with TikTok. Not that I even really use it, but it's just, if you're listening to a 30-second, even a 7-second video, how is something going to make a significant impact on you when there is so much depth and layering to being a human being? And then on top of that, being a human being with a soul, how can we even reach the deeper nuggets of who we really are if we are experiencing things in 7 seconds? My view is we can't. And someone who is in scroll mode is literally in scroll mode. So I'm going to be talking about how do we bring light in the current situation, the way that it is, and particularly I'm going to relate it to my experience in terms of how can I even say there's something like your highest timeline with what is being viewed, experienced, and literally seen and is really happening in real time now in reality, right? And then I'm also going to be doing a collective reading on what you, as a change maker, as a light worker, as a spiritual warrior, as a goddess, as a mentor, as a coach, as a healer, as a spiritual person, as a mom, as a father, as a provider, as the breadwinner, because all of those roles are so significant. And there's been a surge of people in the last 3-4 years that have wanted to come and really express their gifts. And that is because the reality is, it is time now. It is time for you to step into who you're meant to be. It is time for you to honor your soul purpose, and it is time for you to step into your highest timeline. So I'm going to be doing a reading on that, and I'm going to be talking about looking at what's really happening in reality, in our physical world, right? So what I notice with so many different people is there's this, what happens often is people separate their spiritual lives from their reality. So they'll go, they'll sit, they'll meditate, they'll do their energy work, they'll read their tarot cards, they'll read holy scriptures, they'll be connecting in that kind of way. But then they'll go step out of their bedroom and they'll walk into a job that they don't like. They'll walk into a relationship that they know is not right for them, that they know where they have compromised themselves, and they'll forget about everything that they did that morning, right? One of the biggest spiritual concepts that we all know, and I'm not the first one to talk about, it's one we know, it's one we've been exposed to, is that so within, so without, right? What's going on the inside is happening on the outside. And that the other part of that, which relates to that, is that you are part of a whole. Like, so we've got all of these little parts that form a bigger whole, right? So we're seeing with these big things happening right now in the world, where we're realizing, okay, pedos run the world, where we're seeing, look at the genocide in the world, look at how people are turning a blind eye to children being killed. And interestingly enough, if we look at the pedo situation with Jeffrey Epstein and looking at what's happening in Palestine, it's interesting that children are always involved in that space. And what's important to note there is children, right? When we're children, we are so connected to our own genius. We're connected to who we are, to our true essence. When we're children, it's who we are before the world has conditioned us, has programmed us before we've been shown everything that's happened, right? And a lot of our conditioning and programming is based on what has already happened. So when we learn about something, we learn about things that have already happened, things that are in the past. You don't learn about the future. Nobody's teaching you about the future. People are going, we have discovered so far A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So everything you're learning about, everything you've been conditioned with is about the past. And this is actually something that's really important to remember, because we can't change the past. We can't change the stories that we've been told. That's how we get taught things. But what we can change is how we perceive what is happening in the present moment and what we are called to and how we respond to that, right? So the metaphor of children in both these situations, with what's happening in Palestine and also what's being leaked and the files that have come up around Jeffrey Epstein's case, is this idea of, and it's not an idea, it's actually a lived experience, but I'm going to refer to it as an idea or as a concept. Hi everybody on this. Hello Kevin, hello Sahir, hello not authorized, hello all of you on YouTube. So I'm going to speak about it as a concept, but it's the concept of your essence, of your child essence, and that is your genius. So when we come into the world, each one of us has that genius, every single one of us, and that genius is what was meant to be expressed, and then we get conditioned. And what's happening in the world right now from a symbolic level, there's many things, there's many layers to it, but it is overall showing us the violation of the child, the violation of the essence, the violation of our own genius, and the forgottenness of that, the forgottenness, the forgetting of the genius that is you. And I personally believe the reason why this is so devastating, everything that's happening in the world, is because on a real level, people are dying, people have been harmed, people have been hurt. But there's another resonance to that, there's another layer to that. And this is why I'm saying, when we talk about the spiritual and the physical being separated, they aren't, they're really together, they're working together, and what is happening in the physical realm is really representing also what is happening in the spiritual realm, is this feeling, this resonance of the forgottenness of our own essence. And so a lot of people are speaking about how their nervous systems right now are wrecked. And if you look online, there's so much talk about how to regulate your nervous system, how to make sure that your nervous system is big enough to hold all of the things that you want to, right? Nervous system is it's saying nervous system. I'm just going to say it one more time, nervous system. Your system is nervous, and the reason you want to regulate it is because you can feel the nervousness within your own system of what wants to come through you, right? What wants to be expressed through you. And a lot of people who resonate with light worker, healer, coach, mentor, a spiritual warrior, really coming to bring and express their gifts right now, what they're feeling is a lot of that. There's this shake in the body, shake in the spiritual space of what needs to be cleared out, what needs to come through the vessel of the person themselves, of physical reality itself, to birth something new, to bring in something new. And now what's happening to a lot of people is they're looking for answers in their minds. And our minds are merely tools that have been influenced and conditioned to perceive things in a particular way. Okay, everything we learn, again, comes from the past. Everything we learn comes from the past. And because it comes from the past, now we're trying to use our minds to resolve things that are and understandings that are completely based on the past. And a lot of the time what that means is we end up creating this past solutions or even recreating it. But there's a shift that's happening now, and I hate using that term because it's so blasé and it's been used by so many people. But the change now, the transformation now with people is a slow realization, and I don't feel everyone has come to that point yet, but it's brewing, of this understanding that I don't live a reality that is given to me. I don't have to do that. I can create reality. And that is very uncomfortable for the mind. And a lot of people are feeling this kind of transition energy and going, I'm in a transition phase and I don't know what to do. And that's pretty normal. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do because you're not supposed to know in your head. You're supposed to know in your inner knowing. Because we're reaching the point now where all the people who are feeling they have this calling that they want to bring, that they have this service that they want to give, that they have this light that they want to bring to the world, it can only come from you. Only you can be the channel for it. This is why your system is nervous. And trying to regulate it and calm it, sure, yes, have a regulated nervous system in the traditional understanding, but trying to calm yourself down right now is counterintuitive to also what wants to be birthed to you. So there's a needing to understand where you're cutting off life force and trying to use an outdated mind or program to resolve an issue that needs something bigger than you. And that's where the nervousness is coming from. Something bigger than you wants to be birthed and come through you. And it's scary. Any woman who's given birth knows that. It's the most frightening thing I've never given birth, so I would imagine, but what I've heard from my friends is that it is transformative. The identity shift from being a mom to being a mom is insane. And so for each person that is really wanting to bring through this new creation, it requires a different you, a different way of being. It requires change. So the transition is no longer, oh, I'm going to do this, and that becomes predictable, and everything is predictable, and I know. This transition is moving us into a stage where we don't look to the leaders of way back. We look to ourselves to be the leaders. We look to what we want to birth. We look to what we want to create. We look to what the God aspect within ourselves, our soul, wants to bring forth. So the intensity of what is being triggered in us is, yes, secrets are coming to the surface. And someone said to me the other day, you know what? In the 90s, it was simpler. When I was a teenager, it was simpler. Yeah, but what was happening now, what we're understanding about the world now was happening then. And this is the price of truth, right? The price of truth is being able to look at what is real, being able to look at what is in front of you. If you cannot look at what is in front of you, you cannot change it. How can you change something you're unwilling to acknowledge? You cannot. So your highest timeline isn't some separate, love and light, like nothing ever goes wrong reality. It's not that. It is the unknown gift, soul purpose, calling that is in you, that wants to be birthed through you and needs you to be the custodian of it. You have to receive that, and you have to become the vessel for bringing that into reality. And that means recognizing what is real within your human and what is real within your reality, but also what is real within you. There's no more time for secrets, whether those secrets are bad secrets or good secrets, whether those secrets are shameful or they're guilt-ridden. The world is showing us that. The outside events in the world is triggering us to, on an individual level, to recognize that. I mean, there's a lot of people posting about conspiracy theories and talking about how they were right, and people pointing out all of these things, and these people are necessary. But not all of us can fill that role. Some of us have something else to do. Some of us are meant to bring change in a different way, in our unique way. If I try to go around and start calling myself a conspiracy theorist, I don't resonate with that. So I would be disingenuous. And I'm not going to serve the true purpose of what that role is meant to fulfill. If I'm truthful to myself and in integrity, which is always what I teach and it is what I believe wholeheartedly, then what I'm bringing is going to be in truth and in integrity. And with the lies that we've been fed year in, year in, year out, with how the wool has been pulled over our eyes about our governments, about our systems, about how we interact with one another. I can't change the entire world, nor can you, but I can look at myself and I can go, where in my being, where in my knowingness can I feel that I've been pulling the wool over my own eyes? Because we only become susceptible to the wool being pulled over our eyes when we're okay with deception somewhere else, when we're allowing deception somewhere else, when we've become comfortable with deception somewhere else in our lives. Then falling into a deceptive frequency and accepting a deceptive, duplicitous frequency becomes easier because we've done it somewhere else. And when we can choose for ourselves, when you can choose for yourself to be in integrity of what it is that you're really meant to do and the light that you're meant to bring, and come back to that child essence of what you were really here to show and reveal, despite how your nervous system is feeling, and recognizing, your nervous system is nervous because it wants to bring something to the fore, then that is what I would say you need to listen to, right? So I've been looking at a couple of things, and for me, the thing I know I'm meant to be doing is really working with people, bringing them to their highest timeline, and it relates very strongly to current real world events. If we look at certain things that happened in 2019, I went on an ayahuasca journey, and afterwards I did San Pedro as well, and I had a vision. And I had a vision around COVID, and we know the COVID pandemic hit in 2020 March officially, right? In 2019, in December, I had a vision on a farm, after having done some San Pedro, and I saw that there were these little small men in the lungs of people. So lungs are all about breathing. They're all about fresh air. They're all about what are we taking in? They're all about our life. What are we taking in? What are we breathing in? What are we making our lives about? And I saw these little tiny men in the lungs, and the words that came out of me was, there's a sickness in the people, there's a sickness in the people. And at that time, I had known nothing about COVID. And I have since thought about it, and what COVID was bringing to the fore was not only the virus itself, but on a symbolic level, the other sicknesses that are in people. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that in Palestine. We're seeing it with the Jeffrey Epstein case. Shortly after COVID, we also saw what happened with George Floyd and racism. Those are all sicknesses, right? Even current relationships between men and women, and this disconnect that's happened, and how people feel about masculinity and calling and toxic masculinity. If we look in South Africa, talking about gender-based violence, all of these things are sicknesses that are rising to the surface. These are the things that we need to change. So I had a vision of that in 2019, and in December, earlier in December, before that happened, I had another vision, which was in my bedroom. There was a man standing with like a mask on his face, talking about, well, he wasn't saying anything, and I was like, who is this? And I didn't understand the mask on his face, and I told my cousin about it, who is an energy healer herself, and she said I needed to clear that. And I said to her, I don't think I can clear this thing in my room. I don't think it's something for me to clear. I think this is actually something that is destined to happen. And or no, the words I used were is inevitable. And then 3 months later, we had COVID, and I also had that vision. So that taught me that there are certain things that are meant to happen. And now this brings me to my explanation of highest timeline, because in January, the 1st of January 2025, and we all know how January was just like a crazy year. In January 2025, I had another vision, and I was shown a vision of a reality where each and every single human being has what is called a highest timeline. And this has been in our consciousness. If we look at spiritual teachings and if we look at spiritual content, people have been using this phrase highest timeline, but I never really got what it was. But in this vision that I had, it showed me that each person has a unique soul purpose and has a unique destiny that is completely in alignment with their own child essence. And this child essence is their genius. And when people connect with their genius and they fully learn how to become the vessel for that genius and learn how to work with their soul, they got the part of them that's most connected to God, and you learn how to work with your soul through your intuition and understand their human experience, which is our body consciousness, and understand what our body is experiencing and the stories of our body, plus learn how to communicate with reality, then what happens is people can move into this highest timeline. And on this timeline, because you're in alignment with not only your child essence, your soul and your soul purpose, so the aspects closest to God, you're in communion with reality. And when I saw that, I knew that it was true, because just like I had the visions of COVID in 2019, this one came through in exactly the same way. So I share this with you now, because those of you who are listening to it now, you must be in resonance with that. And I save it because in the future, I want to come back to this video and I want to be able to go, I recorded it, here it is. I've put it out there. So what I'm going to be doing now is I am going to be doing a reading for whoever has gotten to this point, and I will also talk about the reading earlier on. But I'm going to be doing a reading for anyone who's gotten to this point. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. And I'm going to be doing 3 different readings. So I'm going to invite you to pick a number between 1, 2, and 3. And the point of this reading is to look at where are you right now in your journey and for your journey, and where do you need to be going? What do you need to shift, okay, to step into your highest timeline? Now, when I share this, I'm going to invite you to connect with your own intuition. And your intuition is, I'm not going to say it's not your psychic ability. Your intuition is your connection to your own inner knowing. Your inner knowing being your soul. Your soul gives you its own curriculum. It teaches you its lessons. Your soul is connected to God and is connected to why you're here, right? So I'm going to invite you to connect to that and feel what is resonant for you. In all of that, I am running a challenge called Intuition in Action Fire Horse. So we're working with the energy of the Chinese horoscope and zodiac, and working with bold transformation. So if you're interested in joining Intuition in Action Fire Horse, that is going to be a challenge that I'm starting on the 22nd of Feb. And it's for you to deeply connect with your inner knowing and get guidance that is unique to you, your path, what you want to bring into the world, and what you're meant to be experiencing, the highest timeline you're meant to be experiencing. So I'm going to invite you right now to pick a number between 1 and 3, and then I shall be doing a reading. Okay, so pile 1, we are already in it. Okay, so your current energy at the moment, pile 1, is we've got the Hermit. Okay, so we've got the Hermit energy, and then we have also got Ace of Pentacles. So this is super, super powerful energy that I'm feeling is coming through, because Hermit is really very much what last year was about. Last year was a year 9, and the Hermit is 9 in tarot. So 9 is really talking about completion. So there's still, and we're still sort of in the year of the snake, right? Well, not sort of, we are. And that energy is still filtering out of your system. There's still things that you need to understand. And the Hermit is inviting you to complete whatever cycles you have not yet completed, because there are still certain things that you need to figure out for yourself. What I'm also getting is there's a lot of wisdom in the darkness that you've experienced, in the difficulty, in the struggles that you've experienced. And you have to see that by seeing the light, your light, and letting your light guide you to this inevitable new beginning. So this beginning is one that you're meant to have. It's a beginning that is being gifted to you by God. You're not meant to be doing what you were doing before. You're not meant to be walking the same path. Now is the time to walk an entirely different path, to be in an entirely different frequency. But that is only going to come when you take what you have learned and apply what you have learned. When you take what you are meant to be sharing, the wisdom that you're meant to be sharing, and remember, wisdom comes from lived experience, and you make it what it's supposed to be. So that is the energy that you're even feeling. You're feeling there's a newness wanting to come through you. You're feeling that your light is meant to transform into not just physical, like a physical offering or showing of itself, but even physical abundance. So let's see, how do you get to this point? What is it that you most need to move through to get to this point? So 3 of Wands. So we've got the energy of you really needing to plan. This isn't going to come out of its own. The fact that we've got the Hermit here is like your lived experience. You've got to envision what it is that you want, because then it's going to come through to you. So you begin being given an opportunity, but there's a co-creation that needs to happen, right? So you've got to move through what it is that you are waiting for. I'm hearing no more waiting, time to plan. That is incredibly important for you. This is time for you to see from a higher perspective what it is that you're seeing for yourself coming in, and not being afraid of planning, of setting out the structure, of going, I need to do this. This is what I need to put into place so that I can receive what wants to come through for me. Okay, if you do this within the next 3 months, what are you likely to see transpire for you, pile 1? Let's see. Ooh. So we've got Six of Swords. So there's a definite move that is going to happen. So wherever you are now, there's definite movement. You are going to be moving towards that goal. So what I'm also seeing here, there's a lot of imagery around water and movement and turning your back on something. So I'm pretty sure there's something in the past that wasn't in true resonance with you that now needs to be left and moved on from, that needs to be seen as something that needs to be left in the past. I'm seeing a lot of you are actually going to make a physical move, and a physical move not only in moving house or even moving countries, because I do feel like it is going to be a major life change for you. It can also be a big career shift. So within 3 months, we're seeing a clear, definite movement, and you're going to have clarity on that. And you're going to feel comforted by it, not in a lazy comfort way, but in a way where you're like, yeah, that was exactly the thing that I needed to do. That was exactly the thing I needed to do. Okay, let's see in terms of an oracle card what's coming through for you, pile one. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So this is really interesting, right? Because I was talking about moving from one place to another place. So, and also really taking in the wisdom of the hermit, where, what have you learned, what have you experienced, some difficult things that you had to let go of, right? Cycles that you needed to close. The most important thing here is boundaries. And boundaries are not just about like, oh, if someone is doing that, like, do I say yes or no to that? Are they respecting me? It's also often how we have boundaries. Like, what do we let in? If someone thinks something about us and they have a perception about what it is that we do, who we are, do we also let that into our reality and influence who we become? So where are the boundaries we have with ourselves? I'm sensing from pile one, many people wanted to take from you, and take from you in different ways. Literal, actual, physical taking, but then also taking in a way where it was emotionally and mentally draining. Especially mentally draining with this Six of Swords energy here. You're going to be moving away from this. Remember boundaries. Okay, so we're going to move on to pile two now. So that is at 32. 3. Okay. Alrighty, pile two. Let's see what current energy you are in, what it is that you need to move through, and once you move through it in the next 3 months, where will you be? Okay, pile two. So whoever's chosen pile two, it feels like you're already taking really deep action on where you want to be, and you're creating stability and abundance for you, and you've really got this energy going. Some of you might have a significant male who's really supportive in your life, who's helping you do that. But I'm really seeing that you're taking outward action and really embodying more of your divine masculine in terms of setting up long-term finances for yourself, long-term prosperity, long-term stability and safety as well. Your ideas are matter. Your choices matter. The actions that you're taking right now are actually having real world results, and you are invested in them, and they are going to bring a return for you. So that is the beautiful energy that you're in right now. Okay, let's see what you need to move through that's going to help you. Ooh, lovely. So we got Queen of Pentacles. So those of you, King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles, whether you are, whatever your gender is, because we've got people here, you might be calling in a divine counterpart. And when I say divine counterpart, I'm really saying like a soulmate. And you can't meet your soulmate unless you're a mate to your soul first, right? How can you expect to meet your soulmate if you aren't even a mate to your soul? And if you don't even know your soul? If that's the case with you, you need to commune with your soul more. Do my intuition in action challenge. It's in action. It's not just like thinking about your intuition. It's actually working with it. But what you need to move through here is while you are working on the external and creating the external, it's also really important to know how you're taking care of yourself. So a lot of physical reality abundance is going on in creation on the external, but are you also listening to where the nurturing needs to happen internally? And when you find the balance between the two, your relationship, if you are in a partnership, is only going to deepen. And if you are not in a partnership, I feel that you're going to be calling in someone who is a match to you, like a proper soulmate match. Okay, so let's look at in 3 months, where are you going to be following this guidance? Ace of Wands. So completely new reality, completely new path. I'm also getting a sense with this kind of connection going on here where we have Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles together, that there is going to be a resurgence of attraction in a romantic relationship. And also very likely, because this is the card of creativity and also lots of passion, right? That it's very likely whoever you are connecting with, if this is a soulmate connection, that it is going to result in creative expression between the two of you, where that is that maybe the two of you are working on a particular project together, a creative project, but there's a renewed sense of purpose, a renewed sense of creativity, and feeling really excited about life. That's lovely. So pile 2, let's see what your oracle card says. Interesting, so perfect, because we just spoke about how King of Pentacles is all focused on the real world external abundance, right, and needing to take care of what's going on internally as well. While you're doing that, take a break. So it says a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So things need to be fun too. Where can you make things fun? Where can you bring more fun into the space? Where can you allow yourself to enjoy what it is that you have created, and to trust that moving through the energy of also realistically taking care of yourself, whatever that means, is actually going to help you achieve more of this, and that renewed creativity, that renewed sense of purpose, that ignited passion, and even this relationship that wants to come through for you, and reconnection in relationship requires that you take a break, that you allow yourself to have some fun. Okay, I'm going to move on to pile 3, which is 38 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So if you've chosen pile 3, like I've said to the piles before, please do listen to your intuition and take what feels resonant, right? What feels resonant, what feels like that is for me. If it triggers you, be curious on why it triggers you. And if you're keen on developing your intuition more, whether you're a pro at it or you are someone who has never really worked skillfully with your intuition, that's cool. I invite you to join my Intuition in Action Challenge, where we will be doing 9 days of you really communing with your inner knowing and hearing what your soul wants to bring through for you right now. Okay, so pile 3, let's see what we got. What energy are you experiencing right now? What are you moving through? And what is the result within 3 months? Okay, so pile 3, you're putting yourself out there and you're being seen. People are seeing you. There's a lot of success, and you might not even have noticed it, because the sense I'm getting is you can feel your light shining and you know that you're there, but I don't think you know that people are seeing you. and people are identifying with what you're saying and they're resonating with what you're saying. It's like I'm getting the sense of, earlier when we had Ace of Wands in the reading for pile 2, what I'm seeing for pile 3 here is all these other wands at the back that kind of like, yes, we're in solidarity with you. And I'm getting that kind of sense that for those of you who chose pile 3, there is a deep connection with what you are sharing, what you are saying, with who you are being, and you are on the path to success. You might not even feel that way about it, but it is there. That is the energy that you're actually embodying. Okay, so in the next 3 months, what do you need to move through right now? And we'll see what will the result be in the next 3 months. Okay, pile 3, you may also resonate with pile 2, but we got the same card coming through. We've got Queen of Pentacles. So this is, again, I want to feel, is this the same energy? Okay, so not 100%. So whoever is chosen pile 3, what I'm hearing more is there are more practical shifts that are needed here. Like here, I'm feeling that the type of care that you need to give yourself is a bit different to what I felt with pile 2. The care here is really looking at the practical aspects of your home, is the sense I'm getting, and your private space, and how you are connecting with your private space. And if you feel, so with your home, with it could be where you're working, like your own office, it's something, even like a healing practice space that you have. And if that space is conducive with what you want to bring forward, that's what I'm really feeling. And to nurture that space more, and to understand the importance of having a space like that. So that's the energy that I'm really feeling you've got to move through pile 2. I want to actually draw a clarify on that, because that's a very interesting interpretation of Queen of Pentacles coming through from Source. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So there's some decisions that have got to be made around how you are managing your resources and finances, which is why I'm seeing you looking at your private space, your private practice. I keep wanting to say private practice, right? Is your space serving you? How are you using your resources? And using your resources in a way that it nurtures you ultimately is really what I'm getting. Okay, let's see what's likely to happen in the next 3 months for you, pile 3. Once you move through this energy, and when you allow yourself to move through this energy. Knight of Swords. Okay. So we've got 7 of Swords here, and we've got Knight of Swords energy. So I want to draw a clarify on this, because this is very interesting. Managing your resources around your private space. Okay. So this is a very specific message. I'm getting the reason why you have to manage your resources around your private space, which is interesting, because we had like you're being seen, you're finding your tribe, you're bringing in success, you might not even see it. Is that I feel that there are going to be people who are wanting to take from you, but in a very sneaky way. I don't think it's going to be obvious. I don't think it's people. I feel like it's one person. And the words that I was hearing is some sort of business partnership. And you've got to be mindful that you are making the right decisions, which was why we had this card come through around judgment around your resources. Is you've got to be careful of where are you losing energy? Where are you losing energy because you're moving really quickly, and because you're not paying attention to and being practical about what it is that you're putting out and creating for yourself, and where is that leaving you vulnerable? So that's pretty important, right? This is why this energy of Queen of Pentacles came through. And when you're aware of that, you're going to see the progress that you want in terms of your financial abundance and what it is that you're creating. I'm really feeling that pile 3 started creating something a while back. And the key here right now is consistent effort. You want to make efforts that are going to bring you results that you can rely on, that are going to be sustainable. Results that, that they form a really good foundation on which other abundance can develop. And when I say abundance, I don't just mean financial prosperity or money coming in. I mean, are you creating something that is going to sustain you for a long time, and that you bring in the right people in terms of whether that's clients or partners or romantic interests, and that what you're creating is supporting all avenues of your life, whether you're partnered or not. Okay, what is your oracle card, file 3? Leap. The universe will catch you. So the sense that I really got with this is the people in this group, like I said right in the beginning, you're carrying the energy of success. You might not know it, but you've got to put yourself out there, and you've got to go for it. You've got to really go for it. It's managing your resources, yes, but not being afraid of trusting what you can feel is the right thing for you to trust. You will be supported. This is why this was interesting for me, and I had to draw a clarifier, because it was like, it doesn't feel bad, but it feels like you have to understand it. Alrighty, pile 3. I hope that resonates with you. Please let me know in the comment section how it has. And like I said, if you haven't yet, do sign up for my Intuition in Action Challenge, which is starting on the 22nd of February. It's 9 days where I guide you through self-paced lessons and activations where you deeply connect with your intuition. And this is really about upskilling and up-leveling your relationship with your intuition. I mean, I've been working with my intuition since I was a little girl, and every time I do this challenge, because I journey with you, my intuition gets better, it gets stronger, and it guides me into situations and to people and to the right moments that actually bring results for me in a way that resonates with my soul. So if you're keen on doing that, you can either send me a message or comment on this video and comment intuition, and I shall send you the details. Otherwise, sending lots of blessings and a lot of love to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.